Hi, everyone, and welcome to SoulCon 2020. My name is Barbra Dillon. I'm the editor-in-chief of Fanbase Press and your moderator for this panel featuring industry insider Peter Murrieta, aka Mighty Peter, and scholar and curator Frederick Aldama, aka Professor Latinx. And we're going to be discussing the launch of their new video cast, Mighty Peter and Professor Latinx Talk Pop. So without further ado, Frederick and Peter, first, thank you so much for chatting with me. It's always lovely to see both of you and to chat with you even virtually.
Yes, I feel the same.
Thank you, Barbara.
Absolutely. Peter, why don't we start with you? What can you tell us about Mighty Peter and Professor Latinx Talk Pop, and what was the inspiration behind this new endeavor?
Well, I think the inspiration was the panel that we were on with you for the launch of the Quince bilingual hardcover. And we just really felt like we had a kindred spirit and in each other, and so we just immediately fell into these different side conversations about comic books, comedy, TV, music. And then of course I picked up some of the professor's books and raced through those, and then we just found ourselves on Zoom talking about a show, but then having that turn into discussion of the Chicano moratorium, and then further into like, why did I name my son the way I named my son? And we just felt like we should do these on a regular basis, and we should share them with people and formalize it a little bit, but keep it fun and keep it moving. It's not an academic discussion.
And do you have oh, go ahead, Frederick, please.
No, I was going to say, yeah, completely. That kind of energy of us both coming together and really kind of seriously kind of drilling in on something, but at the same time, like two chums hanging out and, talking around, after our big meal and spending some time together and really getting into it and having some fun, but also learning together.
Absolutely. And usually it creates such wonderful dialogue and conversation when you have that sense of informality and comfortability in the conversation that really permeates into the viewers as well. Even in spite of the informality, do you have a format to each episode that listeners and viewers can anticipate?
Yeah, I will, just kind of continuing on with where I just was going with this. There's this tradition in Latinx culture and Mexican families in general, where you do spend a lot of time at meals and especially after meals. And the topics go everywhere. And it's this conversation de sobremesa, and they travel everywhere. They go any place. They travel across time, backwards and forwards, and anywhere in the world. And that's really the kind of format.
Yeah, and I love that, and it brings such warm sort of memories of me as a child in my family. That from everything from how do you go on a job interview when I was getting my first job to what movie do people like, and I remember at one point being made fun of by my family because I couldn't skip. And this is like I'm 10 or 11, and me made to like hop around the table, and my family laughing at me. And then the real reveal when I realized nobody had taught me how to do this, and then my dad got up to show how easy it was, and he couldn't do it. So I was like, right, well, there you go. And so I think it's that kind of fun we want to infuse into these topics and ideas. So we want to talk about Latinx as a term, even, and like where it came from, and where's it going, and I think that not with an eye towards proving anything, just an eye is sharing it with people.
Mm-hmm. And do you have specific themes planned for each episode, or specific areas of content for each episode, including the premiere episode?
Why don't you take that one?
Yeah, so we threw around a couple of ideas for our premiere. And the one that kind of we settled on was after we began talking about Showtime's current run, Penny Dreadful, City of Angels, just because it's so rich in the way that it's excavating myth and making it new, but then also kind of stumbling on itself in different ways. And so we thought we would launch with something, and it sounds maybe a little clunky and academic, we'll probably revise it, but something like hashtag Brown Televisual Reclamations, History and Myth. But that will be our, say, pilot launch.
Yeah, and that's just us starting there, and coming into talking about zoot suits and these saints that are in pop culture, and like did our families grow up with them or not? And it's like the going all the way back to the Kinsey book. In my neighborhood, at least in my memory, and I've asked around, like, a lot of us families were not even wealthy enough to have a Kinsey for our sisters. And so it wasn't something until I think my sister became of age that it became a popular thing, at least in our neighborhood, and we just want to traverse all that territory in a fun conversation. And the kind of thing when you would hear it on the radio, at least when I was a kid or a student, you end up wanting to grab a pad of paper because you're like, I heard 3 things I want to look up. There's one thing I want to watch, and there's something I need to read. We want that to be the feeling when you're done listening.
Absolutely. And will viewers anticipate that it will just be the 2 of you for each episode, or do you also anticipate bringing in guests as well?
No, we want to bring in people and talk to them and include them in the conversation. It's after dinner, right? So we want to bring a guest in and have them lead, and then we'll follow. We're even talking about, do we have them on at the beginning or the end? And I think the answer was we want it to be flowing. So some weeks the topic will demand our guest is in at the top, and other weeks we'll have them come in after we've had our time.
And I'm so excited too that we're, already thinking about all of the different personalities, all these really smart, fun people that we're going to bring onto the show.
Yeah. Places from your world and from mine, right? We're going to try to mix it.
Absolutely. And how frequently will new episodes be aired?
We're thinking once a month to begin with, just given the kind of timing of this, and we're both in classrooms literally right now, and then pick it up maybe a couple times a month.
Yeah, we want to get going and ramp up to it. And I think the other thing we're excited about, we might as well give both of our homes a plug, that, with Ohio State and Arizona State, especially with my department just being named its own department, the New American Film School at Arizona State, kind of as a co-venture to make this available to both of our student bodies and the world at large. And so we're looking to get both of those programs behind this for the launch. So that's kind of exciting.
That's fantastic. And what's wonderful about this videocast, and especially in everything that you're saying about not only the format of the discussion and the wonderful dialogue that it will generate, but the importance that viewers will take away from it, the import of the stories that you're talking about. What do you hope that viewers will really take away from this, in addition to the entertainment value of the show?
Yeah, I'll jump in and just say, I hope, something rich and smart and fun, but also non-judgy. Like, I want people to enter into this space with us really as this sort of after dinner kind of meal where we can let our guard down and show our vulnerabilities, and let, maybe some of us didn't have quinces, or some of us might not have heard of chupacabras, and that's okay. There's lots of other things, that we have, that we share as Latinx, peoples and communities and families. So that's my hope.
Yeah, mine is the same. And I guess I'd add in that it's a lofty goal, but I feel like lately in my travels in Hollywood and my pitches and the things that I've been doing, I'm both incredibly excited about some projects that I can't name yet. People would have to go back in time to conversations that you moderated, Barbra, and find it, because I don't want anyone else to know.
We don't want to say it again. No.
But I also want to share that we're more than what I'm coming to this term. We're more than our trauma. And what I mean by that is in Hollywood, we're more than a border crossing story. We're more than a narcos story. And if you come spend time with us, you're going to find out that, you know, I used to be into skating, and that I was in a punk band, and that my sister is an interior designer and decorates model homes. Like, that's a weird job, right? And we want you to leave feeling like not just, oh, wow, they're more than that, but also that we are like you guys, whoever the you guys is.
Absolutely. And speaking of other projects, of course, we don't want to get anyone into trouble with anything under NDA, but are there other projects that you're working on right now that you're able to share with viewers?
Yeah, I can talk about Ricky and Cricket, which is my Amazon pilot that is about a nice guy Latino, Ricky, who's down on his luck and is a little bit accused of passing and of being sort of a coconut. And he is visited by an angel from the east side of heaven, Cricket, come to make him authentic. We are in the process of finishing the second episode script, and hiring an artist in the hopes that we'll have Amazon give us the green light soon, maybe by the end of the year even. And so there's other amazing projects I'm working on, but that one we can talk about. And Mr. Iglesias on Netflix, we have some episodes coming out in December. It'd be great if people watch them. We saw that Netflix just canceled another Latinx show, Ashley Garcia. So we're fingers crossed that we can keep holding the flag there. And that's what I'm working on. Professor?
And I have a great interview that I just did with Mighty Peter that's going to be in this big volume, Latinx TV in the 21st century, to kind of bring us the scholarship up to speed in that space. I've got my, of course, my kids' book just came out, and then I've just scripted and thumbnailed the follow-up to that, the Chupacabra Charlie adventure series. And I'm just scripting, Peter and I are like always writing a piece for the first documentary on Latinx cinema in the 21st century. So it would be a kind of companion piece to the volume that I published.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Excellent. And for viewers who want to learn more about Mighty Peter and Professor Latinx Talk Pop, and definitely check out the first episode, what would be the best way to do so?
I think would be to follow us. I'm Mighty Peter on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll tell you where it's housed as soon as we get it up and running. That's the best way to find us for me.
And Professor Latinx as well, Twitter and Instagram, best spaces to find me.
Yeah. Facebook is just personal for me and 5,214 of my closest friends.
Absolutely.
My rule on Facebook, by the way, for your audience is, if we have a mutual friend, I accept you. That's it. So try your luck.
Well, Peter and Frederick, thank you so much, as always, for your time. And I'm super excited about this new video cast. So I definitely hope that all of the SoulCon viewers out there will check out the first episode and stick with the rest of the cast. But again, thank you both so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.